Hey guys, Mitchell Gaming here with a brand new video. And today, I'm here with Liars.
Hey.
And today, and when I say we,
are reacting to a horror short film.
So this video shall not be long today because I am very busy. So, this is not mine. This is no credit to me. This is the credit to the YouTuber Mort, I believe Mort, but his channel will be down in the description below, or their channel will be down in the description below. If you want to see more videos and give them some love, why not? So let's get into this.
This happened 9 years ago. I had just ended a 4-year relationship
Not bad
and
so
had moved
far.
into an old building in downtown Paris. I had to start all over again from scratch. Well, I did the mistake to let my ex-girlfriend keep a lot of my furniture, kitchen cutlery, pans, coffee machine, etc. At the time, I had worked as a waiter, so I could only afford a one-room
Oh, waiter's
apartment
not bad.
from a council estate building. It was
Lot of
really
wine,
old
but not
and
bad.
barely even clean, but at least I had a roof over my head.
For now.
The first 2 weeks, nothing had happened,
Baby.
but quickly, I began to hear someone talking
My
at
dude
night.
look like that man has
It was
not
kind of
slept
like
for like
noise.
10,000
It
years.
basically said,
Facts.
just go
That
and
looks
die
like my
already.
dude. Oh god.
When I looked into the door, Judah, I saw
Oh!
a scrawny, shirtless guy smiling and scratching the door with his finger. This became a thing every time
Hi,
I
family. This is family friendly.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. This is family friendly.
I had to scare me real quick. Like, bro, that screen is like all over my face.
Yeah, we're family friendly
My
here.
bad. I apologize, guys. I really apologize.
Yo, but that grandpa ugly.
Damn.
really childish voice. I thought about opening the door and asking him what he wanted, but I was afraid that he had a knife or something.
Now, kids, listen here carefully. If you think somebody's at the door and they look very ugly looking or look very disturbing to the fact where
Don't open the door.
don't open the door. Like, if you have like a little key lock, open it, ask what they want, and then on one end there's, but then they put their foot in between
Just
the
like
door.
don't open it at all. Just like
Like, if they look suspicious, just don't open it,
exactly.
Simple.
And I couldn't see his hands while looking into the door.
That's a he?
Judah. What really stunned me is that he acted
We
totally
both said
normal
grandma.
whenever I stumbled upon
I thought
him
it
during
was
the
a
day,
Me too.
and he actually denied being the one to do this at night. I even got mad at him for it, but he seemed to genuinely not understand what the hell I was talking about. One day I came home.
Did it not look like a
at the
she?
bar that I was working at. For some reason, she had left during the night, and I went back to sleep. The mumbling started again. Only this time, it felt really close. I
Ew.
opened my eyes, only to witness the scream
Oh!
of her now headbutting the wall and singing what sounds like a mix.
Oh, no. Pause that. Pause.
Yo, that's a little extra, bro.
A little extra. I'm gonna have to put warnings on this video.
I mean, it's
Warning,
really
this
not that bad,
warning, this
but-
video contains blood. And if you don't like blood, just, click off the video. Or skip. I don't know.
By in slow motion. I was honestly totally paralyzed by the fear. I tried to communicate with him, but he was just grinning, and he ended up exiting the apartment by himself. I decided I had enough, and finally decided to call the police.
Oh, you finally?
They took him in all right, and he
Could
ended
have
up getting
been
put
when I
into a
met the
psych
master
ward.
Yes, the mental hospital is saying he
This
shall
guy
go.
had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he was put in a psychiatric hospital because of it. He wasn't supposed to live at his place anymore. He had apparently ran away from the hospital 2 months ago.
Oh damn.
He initially got sent into the psych ward after bashing a shovel into a
my
postman's
God.
head, putting him into a coma. He did that for absolutely no reason at all. I never saw him again, and I moved out 2 years after that.
2 years? Hold on. 2 years. You decided to move out 2 years after that? I would have moved out immediately, packed my stuff out in the apartment. I am out.
I'm a 25-year-old female, and I had just bought my first home in December of 2019.
Before we continue, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell
sir.
if you want any more notifications from me. Now,
Yes, sir.
let's get back into the video.
Let's
In
go.
West Michigan. The neighborhood seemed quiet and safe, which I was pleased with, being that I live alone with only my dog to keep me company. Having a degree in social work and recently interning at the county jail has made me a bit jaded when it comes to local crime and the
Before
overall
anything,
darker
pause the
side
video
of
real
civilization.
This is a brand new video. I thought it was keep on continuing.
No, this is story 2 apparently.
Alright, so next video we're just gonna let them know that it's a new video.
I've met quite a few of the surrounding neighbors, many of which are on the older side, and they all seem pleasant. But of course,
They may
there's
seem
always
pleasant.
that one loopy
When they're
neighbor
actually
that has to
not.
ruin it. About a month after I moved in there was a knock at my door. I answered, and there was a man around his late 50s to early 60s waiting there. As I opened the door, he introduced himself. We'll call him John. John had a beard and was a little on the hefty side and smelled of cigarettes, but overall looked like a pretty normal dude for his age. He told me he lived a few doors down and he had welcomed me to the neighborhood and said that he's a good handyman. So if I ever needed
I don't know
anything,
about that one.
I don't know
let him
about
know.
that. Good handyman looks
I
kind of
thanked him,
sick.
and I thought it was nice to know that I had someone I could
Okay, what is up with all these characters looking like they hadn't sleep for over 10 years?
No,
They all have like bags under their eyes.
remember if there was an emergency. He asked if I lived with anyone, and I said
Now
no,
that's
that it was just me.
Kind of.
weird.
Okay, they ask if you live with anyone. Then you have to say, oh yes, I live with like
I figured I was just being
20
paranoid.
people.
As the conversation ended, John said, you're a really beautiful girl.
Okay, now that
Oh, if a creepy old man like that says that to you,
I'm out.
it's time to call the police immediately.
I'm not gonna call
Have
the
them
police.
camp by it. Either have them
Me
camp.
personally, me personally, I would just like close the door on them.
Either that or call the police and have them camp by the down of the block from your house or near your house somewhere so they can keep you safe for now. And take this
Standing
man.
with her.
Very pretty. And he smiled at me. I smiled back and thanked him, although shivers had ran down my
I would
spine.
have closed the door
After he
immediately.
left, I thought about his comment for a while. Had he been a decade or two older, it may have come off as more of a cute thing than an elderly man might say to a younger woman. But the way he said it struck me as quite odd. As the months passed, we casually waved to each other, as neighbors normally do. But I didn't directly speak to him again until just a few weeks ago. Almost 1 year after our first conversation, I was raking leaves in the front yard, and I had my dog tied him to a tree
Cute
so
dog,
that he
cute
could lay
dog.
outside in the sun and watch me. My dog, whose name is Newton, is a mid-sized mixed breed of what I believe to be a border collie and some type of shepherd. I got him from a local shelter.
If it's a
Just
shepherd,
pup.
that means it's good.
He's a
That's
real
protective.
cutie, and he's very gentle and calm around me. But he can be quite protective, and he isn't always the fondest of males that he isn't familiar with.
Perfect.
While I was raking the leaves, John comes over on his riding mower and starts to mow the unfinished side of my lawn. I was a little annoyed because I was right in the midst of learning how to take care of fall leaves for the first time, but I didn't let this show and just continued finishing up my patch. After he finished, he had hopped off the mower and he walked over to me and Newton.
Yeah, I would
Newton's tail was wagging,
ran.
but it was apparent that he was also a bit on edge. John and I spoke for a moment, and I thanked him. Then John turns to Newton, and he puts his hand out. Newton sniffs his hand, and he begins to growl a bit. As I'm attempting to hush him, John proceeds to swat at his face
Okay,
in a
that's
playful
Okay, then if
That's
the dog
weird.
is growling, then the dog knows there's something wrong with the man.
Yeah.
gesture. Not a smart move to pretend to smack a dog who's visibly unsure of you. Newton then breaks out in an episode of nervous barking. Embarrassed and not wanting to annoy the other neighbors, I try and console Newton. Then, to my surprise, this grown adult man gets down on his hands and knees in a child's pose position right in front of Newton and actually begins to whimper like a dog. I stared in disbelief,
What
praying that no one
the-
else was watching this horribly awkward moment taking place.
A mental asylum
My
that's
eyes
coming
quickly
to play.
dart to each surrounding house, looking for witnesses, and then stop on a woman who's watching us intently from John's side of the fence. John eventually gets up from the grass, and he told me about his own dogs, and that he also lives with his ex.
We'll be right back after this ad.
Yes, sir. Alright, back to the
Basement.
video.
Yep.
He went into all kinds of details about their marriage and how it didn't work out because he liked to party, and she was more of a homebody. I assumed that his ex-wife was the woman who had been watching us interact from their yard. Before he left, though, He had told me that he was moving out in the spring, but that he would be around in the upcoming winter to snowblow my driveway if I'd like, for $50
Oh,
each time.
hell no.
I told him that I'd let him know, although I thought to myself that $50 was a bit steep for such a small driveway.
Raise it up a little.
After this conversation, I saw him once again last week when I brought my trash out. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, waving to me from his driveway, but ignored him. Not wanting to
Well,
interrupt
it's
the
your
conversation,
bad idea,
'cause I was
then the
leaving
man's
for
gonna
work
show
soon.
up, then the man's gonna get upset.
While walking back to my garage, I had heard him yell, "Hey there!" So
I will
I
say
had no
bye.
choice but to turn and give him a quick wave and nod. Aside from the whole whimpering like a sad puppy thing, he just generally gave me the creeps. And earlier
Oh,
today,
now he
my
is?
impression of him being an outright weirdo was reinforced. I was walking Newton around the block in the late afternoon. I started to shovel quickly when I came across John's house, hoping he wouldn't be outside, but of course he was, as he always coincidentally seems to be outside when I am. He yelled hello to me as he very swiftly walked out from his garage, and I very reluctantly paused by his mailbox and greeted him. "I broke my wrist," he sputtered out. I looked to see his right wrist was in a cast.
Good.
"Oh no, how did that happen?" I asked. "I don't know," John said. I wondered how a person could totally be unaware of how they broke a bone. "I guess I'm just old. I'm probably about the same age as your dad, right?" John asked. "Yeah, probably pretty close," I replied. He then did his usual thing where he talks about things that I couldn't possibly care less about. Like about his new glasses and how he was also in the military, so he was able to get free gear from the VFW. He stuck out his hand to Newton again, and I had to remind him that Newton wasn't really fond of men that he didn't know that well. He offered to get Newton a bone, but I shrugged off the idea, not really wanting to prolong our conversation. "You know, we're supposed to get some snow over the weekend," John said. "Yeah, I heard about 6 inches.
This is crazy. You know what, guys? If you want part 2, the rest of story 2, make sure you hit that like button
And subscribe and turn on the notifications.
for brand new
Let's
videos.
get it.
Now, this is Beatron Gaming
And liars.
signing off. See you guys in another video.
Bye.
Peace.